Oops. Welcome. And I'm still sipping tea, but it is no longer summer. So we've got cozy sweater on to mix in the fall feel, the cozy feel. Welcome, everybody. So you want a writing update, no one asks for it, but I looked at the last time I did one, and it looks like it's time for another writing update, but this will be an interesting one. So welcome to my channel. My name is Margaret Pinard. I'm a historical fiction and fantasy author, and we're getting ready for launching book number 7, which is pretty exciting this fall, but also pretty stressful. So I've got lots of updates, and I'm going to try to incorporate them into the natural flow of this writing update. So hopefully it'll make sense and not feel too crazy chaotic. The book that is coming out that I'm launching on November 30th is called Orla Rafferty Seeks Her Fortune. And we're currently working on the cover and formatting and marketing all at once, because who needs to live in the present? I'm living in 4 different times at once. And yeah, so I thought I would just do this in an interesting way. I thought I'd organize this in an interesting way. So we have the last update, which was from Bean, if you can hear Bean. Actually, I'm going to drop the link in case you want to check it out. I've got playlists for all these under AuthorTube. But the last writing update was 2 months ago, and it was in honor of my finishing the 30K in 30 days. So I looked at the calendar and said, I really want to get a book out. I need to finish this draft and stop messing around. So I'm just going to do an arbitrary 30K in 30 days, sort of taking the idea of a fast draft or a NaNoWriMo draft and putting it in the middle of, I don't know, July, right? So I did that and succeeded, all good. And since then, what have I done? I got that draft edited by a pro and made her updates, so those look pretty good. I got that finished draft out to beta readers, and I'm now getting feedback from them, which is wonderful. And I am mid-format journey, so you'll hear a little bit more about that in my little tour de desk. But we're publishing this as an ebook and a paperback, and we'll see if anything else happens. I think because of the timeline, I will be aiming mostly for ebook and paperback, but yes, November 30th release date for those. But also, so here's where the "we're not writing anymore, Toto" line comes in, and I just wanted to share with you the desk. So tour de desk, this is what I wanted to wrap this into, which I thought would be kind of funny. C9 is here and says, yes, sweater weather, love it. Thank you for stopping in. And Lady Jane Books stopped in to say hi. Hello, haven't seen you for a while. Lovely to see you. Cat Paw says hi. Darn those ads. I know. Laura Nettles is here. Hello. We've got Well-Traveled Books. That's Anya. Hope everyone's doing well. Excellent. Thanks for coming in, guys. I'd love to see you. So the tour de desk, the writing update that is not about writing. I sort of scanned my cluttered work area, and I'm just going to show you the stuff that's related to writing. So not reading on the channel and not other life stuff, but just like the writing business. So first off, I've got... I just found another piece of paper. Okay. First off, I've got a pile of postcards, and there's a lovely Cleveland one that I just showed off on someone's stream recently. But this is from Scrap, which is a cool like thrift store for arts and crafts materials here in Portland. And I went by and picked up a new little haul of postcards because I use these to send to folks for my Patreon. It's one of the tiers. So that's always fun. Sometimes I update them on book stuff, and sometimes I just make it a sort of positive postcard to be a little ray of sunshine in someone's life. And sometimes I drop in bookish content or, I don't know, gossip, right? So that's the first thing. Moving left, like, oh, and I was gonna do this when I said that. I don't want to forget. The formatting is different, so I've got to remember to come back. Oh, yes. And I can't do them at once. So welcome to a Salty Writing Update live stream. That was one of the banners, and since I can't do a banner and a ticker at the same time, there we go. There's the link to follow me on Patreon if you want to get news about the books coming out in a couple months. Okay, so postcard haul. Then if we move down onto the secretary, I've got my journal, which is like the one I keep near my bedside, but it's been, what's it called? Drafted. It's doing duty as a profit analyzer. So this morning, actually, I looked into something and realized that I needed to figure out, I know why. I was trying to look at what my sales goals should be. And then I thought, oh, I need to know what my profits are on each kind of book, each format of book, each platform of book, because we're wide distribution. So I whipped out my stats on the internet, and then I like wrote them down as like a quick chart. And then I was like, okay, that means this many of this, this many of this, this many of this, or, and sort of like mixing it around. So I'm doing like sales strategy stuff, which I don't know how to do. I'm looking at this going, okay, like which looks more doable? That's the only way this is helping me. And then the next step of actually like meeting the goals is sort of beyond me. The one about bookshops, I do know, like hold events. I worked as a bookseller and I know how to attack that, but like how to sell more books digitally, sales ads, like that's not my strength. So I started and my journal is where I put that for some reason, which is silly, but that's what I was looking at the time. So postcard haul, journal, looking at profits and sales, planner. Okay, the next thing on my secretary is my planner, like where I'm actually supposed to do my work, show my work. And the last thing I looked at and what it's open to is like the recent task list. And the thing that is not crossed out at the top there is audiobook chapters, because at the beginning of August, I made it a thing on my Patreon to introduce audiobook chapters. It was when I was experimenting with Ream, which I have since abandoned. So it's not generating much traffic. It's not getting many plays. So I don't know. I'll try to do another couple chapters today to put out tomorrow, and we'll see how it goes. No feedback. The other thing that stands out to me from my planner task list is website shop, add Orla Rafferty Seeks Her Fortune. And in parentheses, I have eventual, because I know I'm not going to get to that soon, but it's on the list. I do have a functioning shopping site on my website, margaretpinard.com, but no one's ever used it successfully, so I can't confirm that it works. But I went as far as I could with a friend who is more savvy on the website stuff, and she said it looks like it should be up and running, except every time I look at it again, it says you need to update this, you need to finish this process. And I'm like, is that real? Do I need to finish it, or are you just trying to get me to put more stuff in that I don't need? Because websites do that sometimes, and it's really annoying. So there's that. There's the website part. Another task on the task list involves ISBNs, or as I like to call them, ISBNs. And it's not because I'm not a fan of Henrik Ibsen and I don't like saying his name. Ibsen. I don't know. Anyway, the the IPSA has been, see, now I've confused myself, ISBN decision. So I've got, my plan was, before I watched MK's video again, my plan was that I would have a digital version on Kindle because they need it direct to give you analytics, a digital version on Draft to Digital that goes out to everywhere else digitally and has its own analytics, and just use their free ISBNs on each platform because they will stay constant in all the places, so that I'd have 2 ISBN ebook. But MK Williams pointed out that then you can't associate the books, so Amazon won't accept that they're the same. So people may not be able to leave reviews on the book and have it be listed together. It'll be like, this is a totally different book, and people may get confused. And so that's, yeah. The last time I did an ebook, I did a Draft to Digital version and did not do it direct on Kindle. And so I don't have that experiment to see if it will. I don't know. Everything's an experiment. You can't know until you try it, right? Which is frustrating. Anyway, so digital is bins, and then the paperback is bin. I was going to use one of the ones that I bought from Bowker so that one paperback can be sold anywhere, whether it's online or in bookshops or like from an author table. So that had been decided, but now it's like, wait, what do I really want to do about this review situation? So it's back in play. And then the other thing that's on my task list here in highlights are the things that surprised me and I didn't think I would have to devote as much time to during this round. And that is formatting. So Scrivener, I went from Scrivener 1 to 3. And that was kind of like a Windows 95 or 98 to Windows XP, meaning it uses a completely different like logic board. Like it's a different brain. And so I have 5 years plus of expertise formatting in Scrivener, for which I paid very dearly. It is not my thing, and I forced myself to learn it so that I wouldn't have to pay someone. And now Scrivener has a completely different system. Like things are just organized differently. So I need to figure that out to make an EPUB for the paperback. So I've done the ebook stuff in Word, and that's fine for KDP and Draft to Digital. But the paperback version has too much stuff, and so I need an EPUB. For the EPUB to work, I need to make it look like I want to in Scrivener. So we're back to that. And before I go on to the other surprise, the October surprise, I'll visit the chat because I see a bunch of alerts. Okay, so JC is here. Hello, friend. Yes, everyone can hear Bean the cat. Bean has spoken. He is salty as well. He is salty because he didn't finish his food from last night, and I'm not giving him more food until he does. So, yeah, that's the tree. He just jumped up on his tree. Yeah. Eva is here. Hello. Eva, I just saw you sneakily became a member 5 days ago. So thank you. Thank you. I didn't see that when it happened. So I was like, wait, what? When I looked at my analytics page. Very cool. Appreciate it. And hopefully, I don't know, you have fun playing around with the emojis. I'll see if I can spot them if they actually come in through the studio. Who knows if they're actually like readable by Streamlabs, which I'm on right now. More on that coming. Yep, we're all saying hi. And Anya says, it's always incredible to me how many moving pieces there are behind the scenes of publishing. I know. That's why this is a writing update. That's not really about writing. Like, have I been able to do any writing? No, it's all copywriting for marketing. So we're almost there. But yeah, all the pieces of publishing are like so tedious and hard to organize. So that's the season we're in. Catpaw asks, is Scrivener good for formatting? Bean. Catpaw had to tell me on the side that's speaking to Bean in cat, which is cute. So is Scrivener good for formatting? this is what I would say for the general public. When I used Scrivener before, the previous version, I had a steep learning curve. The manual was good, but I did require a lot of back and forth from the help in figuring out how to make certain things work, or, why one thing wasn't coming through. It was very like programmer coded. It was very, you have to check this to make sure you're not knocking out, or like this is going to be in the hierarchy. When you change this setting here, you have to make sure you change the setting here, because this like knocks this setting out. And I was like, how am I supposed to know that? So once I did all those things and I got my books to look basically how I wanted them to look, I just needed to remember between books, which if it's 2 years between publishing can get kind of hard. So I got a book, I wrote down all my settings. I did, testing after testing, and like wrote down which way I went for which thing. And I was feeling pretty good until this year and the new Scrivener. So I finally updated the new Scrivener because my computer problems of getting the old one off and getting a new version were just not happening. So I bought the new version and didn't realize it was so different. I didn't practice. I was doing the writing thing, right? I was in the moment. I was in the present. So skip to this point and I'm like, okay, I have to learn a new system, but I gave myself like 6 days to do this job because I thought I already knew how to do it. So I'm in a little bit of trouble, but we'll see. We will see. I was going to start this last night. I told Barrett I would start this last night, and instead I took a bath and then I did paid work for the magazine instead. So we'll try to attack this again today. We're getting up our courage for this today. Bean, eat your food, dude. Eva says, eat your food, dude. He's like, no. All right. So Anita, hello. AF Stewart. She's giving some advice here for ebooks. You want to go direct to KDP and draft to digital. That's my plan. And for paperbacks, to also upload to KDP, and for wide distribution, either go with D2D or Ingram. So I sort of left Ingram in the dust. I did one with them and was not impressed with either quality or analytics and working with the backend. And when it started, it was very expensive to change and everything. So I think they may have come up to draft to digital in terms of ease of corrections, but they're dead to me. Direct to KDP. I don't think I'm going to do a paperback to KDP. I think I will just do draft to digital print to distribute to Amazon. For various reasons that I don't think anyone would be interested in hearing on the stream. So thank you, Anita. I maybe you know what I'm talking about because we're like on the same wavelength. I don't know. That's what it comes out as. Oh boy. So Eva's demonstrating when you remember, you get special emojis, but Streamlabs does not know how to interpret them because they're random like graphics you can get online. Book Magic, potatoes, sleeve bomb, and airmail. Maybe that's what I called them. I think that's what I labeled them. So that's what they're reading. That's hilarious. Oh my goodness. We've got a Christopher Evenstar. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome. Eva says, I've only had to format short fiction in Word and a picture book as a PDF so far, but I did buy Atticus. I hope that makes it simple. Oh, I haven't tried Atticus. I heard good things, and I heard it's not as expensive as Vellum for Apple folks. So yeah, I also tried Readsy and abandoned Readsy because why? Because I put it in as a Word doc and it didn't do the things I needed it to do to be able to transfer it over. So, and now they're hitting me with all these emails of like Readsy stuff. Eva says, I'm not sure I knew there was a new version of Scrivener. Is that why mine looks simple compared to others' tutorial screen shares? I don't know. They're on 3 still. I think that's still the newest. So yeah, he's definitely talking back. That is an emphatic no from Mr. Bean. Yeah, he's waiting for me to open up another can. And I'm like, no, sir. No, sir. If I don't have to deal with Ingram, I'm not going to deal with them. Draft Digital can use their distribution system, and that's fine with me. Leslie is here. Leslie's more of a night owl. So happy Sunday. Hi, Richard. Friends don't let friends format their paperbacks in Word. Not going to happen. Yeah, Scrivener straight to EPUB. That's what we're doing. Reedsy be like that. Reedsy was getting up there with the emails, like almost to like campaign email sending levels. And I was like, what is this? Yes, Richard is championing Ben Pick's Reedsy overviews. He has 2 videos, and I actually went to Reedsy because of Ben's video. Unfortunately, it didn't work out for me, but they're great videos. So, there we go. Okay, we're caught up in the chat. So y'all are with me. I think this is mostly an author crowd, but Anya, hang in there. Hang in there if you're a reader. The writing update, just so you know, like behind the scenes what goes in, right? So one October surprise was the Scrivener paperback formatting, which is going to be a struggle. The other, which you see before you right now, is that StreamYard, which is my chosen platform for streaming and which I use like 3 times a week, decided to jack up their prices last week. And so we've all gotten the emails. I think at various times our subscriptions are expiring and going to be jacked up. So a lot of us are leaving. I heard just yesterday that it was because the original people sold the company. And now, of course, they're, jacking up prices. So we're not having that. We're not having that. Writer Sam Wicker put out a video comparing about 5 different alternatives. Anita also had a video talking about different alternatives entirely. So I saw Sam's first and I went with Streamlabs on her recommendation. I just saw yesterday she put out a short that was about having trouble with Streamlabs because it keeps having her redo the same thing, which I am not experiencing. So any streamers out there, I told Sam she can give me a call because I think it might be your computer or the internet rather than Streamlabs. If you've got more experience with Streamlabs, feel free to weigh in and let us know. But it's working okay for me. I did have the surprise that after only 2 streams, they said you had to upgrade to stream anymore during the month. And I was like, that's pretty weak. So I did have to upgrade, and now I'm on the lowest paid plan. And we'll give it a try just to make sure it's okay. And then, invest in the annual amount to save some money. But I mean, yeah, having to change what you do 3 times a week for like 8 hours a week is kind of a big deal. In terms of moving your money, in terms of what it looks like. I figured out the camera thing was that was a silly one. They don't have folders. So I have different types of streams and I can't organize all my banners and scrollers in folders. So I'm going to have one long list of all the banners for writing sprints, productivity sprints, and book wrap-ups and AuthorTube interviews and etc. So that's kind of a pain. There's like little things, right? You're just discovering how it works. I mean, it's mostly the same, but there's lots of little things that I'm having to tinker with and figure out. And again, we'll see if we switch over entirely, but like that was another surprise I didn't know about. So I had to give brain time to that instead of the publishing stuff and the formatting stuff that I thought would be taking up my time in the last week or so. So that's the planner. That's a little bit of what's going on in the planner and directing my thoughts. Let's see. I need to catch up here. What? Wait. I thought you were being sarcastic when you said you met recently. Did you meet him in person? JC says, I did not like Reedsy. I want to like it. It's purporting to be like clean, functional for the authors, but like it's not doing what I need it to do. On Scrivener, I persevered and was like, no, I want my page numbers to be here. No, I want my title to be here. And like I worked through to figure out how to do it, but it looked like there was no way to get more granular on Readsy. So I was just like, okay, well, we're done. We don't have time for this. This. How did you meet Ben online? Did you go to Virginia? Did he go to the UK? That's so cool. Eva says, I comment Ben's book on posts on TikTok, on Book Talk, that ask what I'm reading. I'm not currently reading anything. You are boosting a book on Book Talk for a friend. That's totally cool. Richard says, Readsy has potential, but doesn't support my preferred trim size. Yeah, I think there were only 2, which was surprising. That was, yeah. I'll swap to Margaret's next, maybe. Yeah, I don't know. Historical fiction. I did see, and I tagged a bunch of videos that were Historathon announcement videos this morning that I haven't watched yet because I was analyzing profits and sales numbers. But there's something going on with Historathon, and I made a note to watch those and see if I can get in on it, because October, November, December is 1800s and later for Historathon. So like I qualify. All my books would qualify. So hopefully I can get in on some of that. Emma waltzed right in. Hello, Emma Bennett. Like button booped. Much appreciated. And then we're saying highs. Cat Paw says, I can't remember what I used 10 years ago, but I used Smashwords, whatnot. Now I need to find something else. Yes. So Smashwords merged with Draft to Digital, and I would definitely recommend Draft to Digital for ebook ease. I'm experimenting with the print. I do have one sample of a Draft to Digital print, and we'll be doing it again for Orla Rafferty Seeks Her Fortune. And I will not have the main issue that I had with it last time. So last time I had a cover designer do ebook covers. She did not do a paperback cover. So when I uploaded it to Draft to Digital print, I thought they could like continue the color scheme, but they can't. So the spine and the back were just black. And I'm not a designer, so I did not attempt to do anything fancy or learn. And so I was kind of disappointed with that. So for Draft to Digital, I'm purchasing a cover for paperback, and it will look like a regular book, you know. So I think you'd like them, Cat Paw, but we could talk about it. That'd be fun. I mean, I hope I can help out. I can't do much. I'm just learning Streamlabs as well, but I think it might be like a local issue, so not something that would be Streamlabs' fault, but it might be a local issue that affects any carrier. So that's why I wanted to, like, before you change and do all this stuff, like, check that out. Anita says Streamlabs can be problematic. If it's a question of like bandwidth on the internet, that's unfortunate. I was hoping they'd be more like StreamYard, where it's all on their server end and like not on the local connection, because that's really helpful when you're streaming. That's like the point, right? Eva says new software days are always chaos at workplaces, even when it's just a solo operation. Yeah, this exactly. We're upgrading, or we're rolling it out, and yeah. Cat Paw says, if you need to record some more chapters, send them over and I'll do them this evening. Cat Paw's amazing. Cat Paw Rosales, everybody. Audio engineer / nerd. Doing the most, trying to help me sort out. I have a new configuration to try, and I booted it from last week to this week, so I do need to do a couple chapters. And they're doing the most to try to get me into a better place, because Cat Paw has like all the cool software for grading and cleaning and all that kind of stuff, and knows how it works. So I appreciate that. I'm going to prioritize the paperback formatting first, Sally forth, and then we'll go back to recording, I think. But yeah, I appreciate that. Richard says, yeah, why has Eva got that book icon thing? And Eva's trotting out the famous emojis again. She's a member on the channel, Richard. She's throwing some cold hard cash to her writing friends. If you want to become a member, there's a join thing below. That's one of the things. Yeah, and I just discovered Eva joined a few days ago, which is fun. Yes, Ben was in London recently. What? That's so fun. I can't remember what this relates to, but yeah, Reedsy. Eva. It would have been rude to not meet you, though, being way over there. Sometimes you got priorities, and like my schedule when I was over there were like boom, boom, boom. JC says, I wanted to like it too, Margaret, but same. Doesn't do what I need to do. To be fair, Draft Digital didn't do exactly what I needed either, but it came the closest. Yeah, that's exactly where I am. Yeah, because I can't edit in Word, and it wants a Word doc to be able to add its hyperlinked front matter and back matter. And so I need to come in the door that it wants to get the benefit that I want. And I'm not going to upgrade with Word. So like that's the best I can do, which is fine. GC only use Draft Digital to format. You're probably okay if you used Word. Like if you were uploading a Word doc, because that's what it wants. Eva says, middle grade historical is probably my most read genre over the last 5 years, but it wasn't on purpose. I don't know. Does that have a niche in book talk? I don't think so. I did get the Sharon Draper book, Stella by Starlight, from a little free library, I think, recently. So I was like, it's an Eva recommendation. So I'm pretty excited to read that whenever I have time, right? But it's on the shelf. Is that similar to Smashwords? I'm not sure which one she's talking about, but I did talk about Draft Digital. I hope that answers it. Ven's Corner, hello. Just got in, swinging by to hug the like button before I dive into my own things. Hope all is good. Thank you, Ven. Appreciate it. JC, I don't know anything about Smashwords. I didn't know about self-publishing 10 years ago, says Eva. 2014, those were the days. I know. My first book came out in 2013. I was after the first curve, but I was an early adopter, maybe second wave. Ven says, I use Streamlabs. It can be temperamental at times. Oof. Okay. And I don't think there's anything wrong with the internet situation. So that's annoying to learn, but thank you for sharing. I remember at work when we upgraded from Outlook to Gmail for our internal email, it was no upgrade. Yeah, those can be a hassle. So you have to be your own IT, which is another part of self-publishing we need to count. Yes, exactly. You are welcome, because thank you in the first place. Yeah. Eve says, my guy works in IT now, kind of, sort of. His life is rollouts. Ugh. I bet he deals with dissatisfied people all the time. It's less obvious because I'm a mod. If I weren't a mod, I'd have a green text name. Oh, okay. Yeah, JC uses Word, so that makes sense. Oh, Gareth is here from Book Songs and Other Magic. Hello. Our remote at-large free range chaotic creative. Hi, everyone. Hoping to get inspiration to edit a story for a competition. Oh, well, this is the writing update. That's not a writing update, Gareth. So I don't know if it'll be very inspiring, but I do appreciate you dropping it. Oh, okay. Word is a great word processor, and I don't really know what that means in this context. It's a lousy page layout program. Use anything else. Yeah. I hope you like it. I don't think being well read is a factor in this. I think it's going to be a good book. Yeah. My short fiction uploaded to KDP so easily with Word formatting. It's the giants working with the giants. There's no problem. It's when you try to use someone who's independent as one of the links in the chain that it all goes to smithereens. Oh, at least in my experience. Perhaps the average user doesn't use tabs and breaks the same way. The same way as... I'm not sure what that means. I think we all use it differently. I think that's part of the issue, but yeah, I think it's more like the trying to use draft to digital in between. JC is a word girl. There's nothing else for me. JC has decided opinions, and I just never try to argue anymore. Yeah, Word makes it easier to format and draft to digital, so I think you'll be set up well. Jim is here from Jim's Books, Reading, and Stuff. Hey, y'all. Richard agrees with JC on the track changes. They did work it out. It's good now. Gareth still works. Yeah, chaotic creative, like it. Eva says, use Excel to format your books, obvi. Oh, let's try this feature. Double click to update. Doesn't do anything. Double click to toggle spotlight. Again, I'm going to try this feature. It says double click to toggle spotlight, and I don't see any difference. So if you see anything changing from now to now, like, let me know. Spotlight. I think it's when there's more than one person. Anyway, just experimenting with Streamlabs while we're here. No, track changes is not an add-on. It's part of Word if you have Word. If you have purchased Word and not read-only version. I don't know. Built into Word, it's the industry standard. Yeah. Oh, as me. Yeah. Yeah. It's not standardized. I think I think that's part of the beauty of Word is that you can use it and use it how it works for your brain as a word processor, but that does create problems when you want to use it as a page layout, as Richard said. It wasn't until my third book that I found out you have to put the page breaks in on Word. Found it by accident. Put the page breaks in. Are you talking about for paperbacks or for digital? Because when I was reading through my manual for digital, Draft to Digital was telling me that reflowable format means page breaks. We laugh at those. We spit on those. We fart in their general direction. So I was just like, I'm not even going to bother for the front matter that they're formatting. Like, it's whatever. It's just going to be what it's going to be. I used to be able to, in Scrivener, put as is, and it would like clamp down on the formatting so that I would be able to see my table of contents as the page, or my also other works by as a page. But Draft to Digital is not down with that anymore. So yeah, it's a learning process. I like track changes for others' work. It's less useful for me. Yeah, page breaks and tabs for indents. Yeah. My first experience with computers was with Word. I've literally always known it the best of all programs. Okay. So one of the things about StreamYard is that, not StreamYard, Streamlabs, you can't see the full comment as it comes in. So you look for the comment on the tiny screen where you are, but it's tiny, tiny. Like, this is why I'm like doing this. It's kind of stupid. People who use the tab key for their first line indents instead of a paragraph style. Well, Richard, this is kind of like the ant and the grasshopper fable, because some people want to lay out all the preparations and organize everything like it should be and then do all the work. And then some people like to do the work, do it as they go. And Word does discriminate based on that, really. I made the mistake a few times. Gareth, I did page breaks for both. Okay. I think it looks different when it goes into, I don't know if you use draft to digital or KDP, so I don't know actually. First pages get no indent. Yes, but to laugh at those who do it differently is elitist BS. Yeah. Ant, grasshopper. People just do it differently. The problem is when the ant, is it the ant? No, it's the grasshopper. The grasshopper gets to the end and goes, oh crap, I need to go back and like erase all those. It's fine. It's fine. Ugh. I've made all the mistakes. Yeah. Cat Paw says, I learned on Word, then moved over to Word Perfect. Oh my God, Word Perfect. Wow, that's bringing back some memories. Back to Word, and now Open Office for the last 15 years. Oh, cool. I didn't know they'd been around that long. Open Office. Okay, cool. Richard says, I'm passionate about helping others avoid the traps I fell into as an amateur. 20 years. Wow. If the comments are small, should we write in all capitals? That helps, actually. Eva learned to type with scholarly rules for formatting. Ooh. Oh, yeah. So you're like actually the Scrivener Handbook for Writers or whatever that old book is I have up there, the AP style or Chicago style or whatever. Yeah. Eva says, I had to clap erasers together to dust them off at the end of the day. I remember that. That was a coveted classroom job, and I still remember the feel of the chalk dust on my hands, which I didn't like. So, oh my gosh. When I write in Scrivener, I use full screen white on blue, which is emulating Word Perfect. So I think this is the ant approach, right? You're setting up your parameters first. That's so funny. Futz around and find out, Garrett. It helps. I can read it better. I mean, or I can see if these will help. Sometimes I break these out when my head is feeling bent in, staved in. Oh my goodness. This is a fun trivia fact. George R.R. Martin still writes on WordStar 4.0 on MS-DOS. Maybe explains why he hasn't published a book in 15 years. I'm sure they'd make an exception and give him an update. I have to adjust my spaces after the dot with edits. Wait, do you do double spaces? Like on a typewriter? That's a holdover, Eva. That's what my mom taught me on the typewriter. Thank you for the gracious accommodation, Eva. It helps. All right, so getting back to my outline here, where was I? All right, so we've definitely lost the non-author crowd. That's okay. So ISBN, Scrivener, StreamYard, Streamlabs, Planner. Planner's done. Okay, next to the planner, still on the secretary desk, this is the content calendar. It's all on paper, you see. All on paper. I'm a paper nerd. So what I have on this is my main social media stuff. So you'll see I do Twitter stuff sort of on off the cuff, and I do Instagram stories like every morning and evening off the cuff. But in terms of planning, like having actual purposeful things, it's on a calendar. So I've got videos that I'm going to put out like this one here. I've got Instagram posts, I've got Patreon posts, and I've got events because the book launch means events. So I've tried to make them even and regular, and Patreon gets stuff first before the other reveals and that kind of thing to make sure that I like get everything out that I want to in the right order, including Patreon survey. So if you are a Patreon follower, I have a survey open for what type of content you'd like. I think it has one more day. So if you haven't voted in the survey, please do. Yes. Oh, this is lovely. I love it. I do double spaces naturally. Yes. Richard says Eva actually has a typewriter. I do. I don't, but my mom still does. Richard says it's incredible and could be used as a boat anchor. Gareth says that looks like a lot of organization. Yes. Yes, it is. I do this like basically every 4 to 6 weeks because I need to know what content I'm having so I don't have a little panic attack of like, what do I do tomorrow? Like I did yesterday. I'm so responsible. Thank you. That gets me a tea break. It's gone almost cold. That's all right. I also follow Margaret on Patreon. Do you? Check the description. That sounds almost like a certain jacket that someone wore, which gives me the skeevies. I don't know what that phrase I'm looking for is. If you're just coming in, I don't always yell in chat. Cat Paw says to Eva, I've only just retrained myself spaces. Oh, I let go of that a long time ago. You guys are like clinging even harder than I am. This is great. Eva says, I have it set inward to change it to one space automatically for me. Word is magic. Oh, because your fingers are used to doing the double space. Gotcha. Wow, that's smart. That's smart. Synchronized tea drinking. Love it. Love it. The contrast on these comments is quite something. Yeah, different things going on at once. It's great. It's a diversity of opinions. We like it. Okay, so content calendar for the social media. And then moving off of the secretary desk, I've got the corner desk. Dahlia's. So we're doing a tour to desk. We're continuing here. Here is a consignment agreement that I picked up from a bookstore. So if you don't know, when I was doing my sales numbers, one of the parts of my distribution strategy is to be in bookshops. And the way you do that is either knowing them and having a relationship and they order from Ingram for you, or knowing customers and readers who go to said bookstores and say, hey, do you have this book? Can you order it for me? Which is lovely. Or going into bookshops with a consignment agreement, which means you get the books yourself from your wholesaler and you go in and you sign an agreement that says you're going to get 40%, I'm going to get 60%, and we're both going to try to sell this book off your shelf. So good. So that's happening because I have an event planned in January at this bookstore that just opened in my neighborhood, which is amazing, run by a friend. So I'm very excited about bold coffee and books, if anyone's in the Portland neighborhood. Consignment agreements. So I'm working on that. Also, bookseller outreach. Another piece of paper. Bookseller outreach. So I listed all the places where I have relationships with here in the Portland area and basically tried to imagine how I can make unique events, right? So if you have an event in Portland, that's kind of going to bring most of the people who want to see you in Portland out. And they can only buy your book one time, realistically. So how do you make it appealing for different parts of the population? So I was trying to get a unique selling proposition, if you will, to pitch to these different friends at different bookstores. And it's not totally nailed down, but I'm looking for like, I had a friend, Michael Keefe, who just had a book event that I went to at a bookshop in my neighborhood, and he did it in conversation with someone. So I assume people who knew that someone, which I didn't, would sort of be pulled in and interested. I went because it was in my neighborhood. So I finally got to go to an event of his newest book, which is great. So I'm going to adopt that strategy and see if I can get someone cool to like talk to me about my book. That would be neat. There's the launch. There's like different holidays to tie it to. There's maybe tie in the author angle, like people who are more interested in the publishing side. So there's like bookseller strategizing. So that's in the mix. Bookseller outreach for events. And then coming back to the planner, I have a list in here that is about speaker outreach. So I did mention, and I'm going to put the link in for anyone who didn't catch it. Friday, we had a fantastic guest on. I just have the playlist link. Okay, so I made a playlist. the playlist for Good Fight Fridays. So in August, I had this idea for a speaker interview series where I could get people whose books I had read and I loved them, especially because they put people who are struggling with social changes in the center of the action. So we've got class conflict, we've got political change, we've got industrialization, we've got religious persecution, we've got racial divides, lots of stuff happening in history. And I love learning about all of it because it reflects on the present and how we see each other and how we treat each other in the present. So I got this idea to highlight other authors I loved and invite them on the channel and have that lead up to, like a red carpet, my book release. So we've had Natasha Pulley, who's a speculative fiction author, on. And last Friday, we had Joy Jordan Lake, who is a historical fiction author. And I just had a great conversation with Joy on Friday. I'd never met her before, so it was the first time, and she was lovely. We had a little tech flip at the beginning, but then got to ask really great questions about why we write what we do and why we center the things that we do and why we're interested in them. So, please watch that from Friday. I've just dropped the playlist in the chat, and that's my cue to remember to talk about the next Good Fight Friday, which is going to be with Leah Engstman this Friday, October 18th. So it's on the playlist as well. And Leah has been on the channel before as part of a panel. She's historical and no, I'm going to say historical, but very literary. She's got short stories. She's got a novel that Jim has read and I have read and loved. And she just came out with a new one in March called Falcon and the Dive, which is about the French Revolution and the aftermath in the 1790s. So that looks pretty thrilling. But yeah, it's got political intrigue, it's got social causes, and people struggling. And that's like what I love to read about. So we'll talk to her on Friday. Put it on your calendar if you're a late night owl in the UK or if you're a normal person in the US. Sorry, guys. So we've got some chat. Here's the playlist. Please check it out. It's an easy one. It's a bit.ly link. Good Fight Fridays was not taken, so I snatched it up. Wait, just a moment. I missed a bunch of chat. Where did I leave off? Alora came in. What? Okay, here we go. JC, not me going to do the Patreon poll and realizing I've already done it. Thank you, JC. Appreciate it. We love that with our supporters, JC. You're amaze balls. I'm going to change that too. So Jim says, Cormac McCarthy, who passed in 2023, used a typewriter, a light blue Olivetti Lettera 32 to type his novels. He only passed away in 2023? That surprises me. That shocks me. Don't start me on typewriters. My dog and child are both barking. I think a package has arrived. We've got some exciting stuff happening. Richard fell down the typewriter rabbit hole in 2024. What? Olivetti is a cult object bucket list item. There's a book actually called Olivetti that is from the POV of the typewriter. I think it's a middle grade cat paw. I don't know if you've seen it or heard of it, but I've been promoting it for audiobook version. Looked really cute. Danielle Steele. Okay, you're using present perfect. Is Danielle Steele still alive? She wrote 190 of her books on a 1946 Olympia typewriter that she nicknamed Ollie. That's pretty cute. I will say a typewriter indicates to me either doing double work or having an assistant. So that's not going to be me. Richard owns 2 IBM Wheelwriters. They're extremely beige and utilitarian and weigh a ton, but they're amazing. That's cool. IBM that are actually typewriters called a Wheelwriter. I don't know that name. That's cool, Richard. They are the opposite of the typewriter aesthetic people imagine. Okay. I'm guessing they came from like the late 1970s then. Gareth asks, have you been on local radio? That got me a few sales a little while back. I have not. I did try to talk to a local author who was on like the classical radio station, which is local public radio. But he wasn't my kind of person, so it like didn't lead anywhere. And I don't know who to contact otherwise. I don't really listen to radio, so I'm not in with the names and programs and stuff. It's one of those things that I've always looked at and gone, yeah, I should, but it's not my expertise. And I've never met anyone who has known how to do it, so it hasn't flowered. Laura Gomez is here and saying I'm basically Cormac McCarthy. I need some backup evidence for this. Oh, the typewriter thing. Okay. Caphouse says, I'm never going back to manual or electric typewriters. I love my ergonomic keyboard. Fair. Richard wants photos of the typewriter from Laura. I dread to think what you'll do with them. Olivetti makes real classy machines. They're like the Jaguar Porsche of typewriters. I could get down with that. Eva says, my typewriter is only aesthetic. I haven't ordered any new ribbon for it. It's in great shape, though. Loud and heavy. Well, the next thing you do then as a YouTuber is to film ASMR videos and put those up and see if, like timers, they just gather followers. You never know. And watch time. Okay. Richard's metaphor is an IBM Wheelwriter is like the Ford Transit van of typewriters. I don't know what a Ford Transit van looks like, but I can picture like a Chevy Astro. I think that's where you're going with it. She's got a plaque identifying her as county property once upon a time. A typewriter? She's green. That's cute. I did not expect green. It's an IBM Selectric, if I recall correctly, Eva. Laura's is green. Richard's is beige. You'd remember better than me. Yeah, I mean, I vaguely know some of this stuff, but not to the detailed stuff. Yeah. I love this red turquoise choice for the comments. It was my branding a little bit ago, and now I've sort of morphed into purple, but I didn't bother changing this. Eva's going back to blend in with the lowercase. Or is it cyan? It's not. I don't know what it is. I get a number letter code for the colors, not the actual name, so I couldn't tell you. This is genuinely inspiring, Gareth. I'm glad. It's only cyan if you're shopping for printer ink or trying to print a paperback, because that requires CMYK. Don't forget. Oh, someone's out canvassing in Eva's neighborhood. Cool. Wow. That is a surprise, Jim. That's pretty hilarious that he was named after Joseph McCarthy. Maybe. But born in 1933, so maybe not. Daniel Steele is still alive. I did not know that. I'm sorry. Scanner apps. That's true. Every time I take a picture of a page of text, my phone tries to convert it to words for me. That's true. I don't know if then you have to go in and edit for formatting, though. That would tick me off just as much. Richard, honestly. What? That's pretty cool. Oh, no. Daniel still must be like in her 90s, right? 47. My dad's 40. Yeah, she's in her 80s then, right? I don't know. I'm not doing math. I'm just using my parents' age as proxy. Eva's mother was born in 1945. So was mine, Eva. Eva Lore. Eva Margaret Lore. 80 next year. Right. There we go. Thank you. To be fair, there's an author community here in Portsmouth, so they told me about the DJ. The DJ? Wait, were you getting on local radio with a DJ rather than a radio host? That's a different path to consider. I had not thought about it. Nicole is here. Hi there, everyone. I was going to be finished by now, but the chat is hopping. You guys are awesome. Yeah, Chevy Astro's on the mark. There we go. Yeah. It's like a throwback to 80s computing. Is it? I think of green on black as 80s computing, but that's maybe off. I don't know. VW van. Selectric 2 was a 1970s era typewriter from IBM, replaced by the Wheelwriter in 1984. Okay. And the other uncool thing about Streamlabs is that when you hover over a comment, the show on stream option goes right over the person's name. So I try to read a comment, and it hides who says the comment from me. Oh, you're going to blame me if Daniel still dies soon. I have no control over people's deaths. I have no control over the weather. You know what I wish I had control over? Fucking dog above me. So 4 hours yesterday. Oh my God, I'm 47 comments behind. It does count the comments, which StreamYard does not, which is kind of cool. There's a dog that was barking on and off for like 4 hours yesterday. And I was resorting to very there was a lot of cussing going on in my house because I've had headaches for 2 weeks. I thought it was gone. Yesterday and the day before were headache free. And then today it came back. So I'm back on the Advil, unfortunately. On fire, chattas. Yay. Eva says, I'm older than you, so your mother was even older mother. Fascinating. Yes. Yeah, I was baby number 3 after a gap. I love green on black. So retro. Green on black is very retro. Not blame, per se. War games? Oh, green on black is war games. Green on black was dark mode 40 years before it was a thing, says Richard. Consider you prophetic or psychic? Nah. Yeah, I wish I could control the weather. Okay, we're quoting a movie I don't know, so I'm not gonna bother. Stuff I can't understand. Okay, Gareth says, thing is, you've inspired me to edit my story, but will I get distracted 5 minutes after leaving the chat? Sources say likely, says the A-Ball. Shall we play games, says Catpaw, with a specific format. Are you doing a thing that I don't know about? Because I don't know when you do the dots, if that does something. How about a nice game of chess? Eva was baby number 6, but the gap was for number 5. Interesting. Eva lore. Okay, I'm going to jump back to the planner, to the outline. So speaker outreach for awareness. I did a link to the playlist. Oh, and the other thing is you can't star comments. So my playlist link is lost forever. It's way back in the chat since the chat has been so busy. So hopefully you guys will find it. Oh, you know what I could do? I could star it. Or pin it if I can find it. On the YouTube tab. It was a while ago. There we go. The playlist. Pin. All right. See, this is the way we find workarounds. This is why it takes forever. Outline says dahlias. On the beautiful day that was yesterday when I had no headache, I went down to the farmer's market and I splurged on a bunch of dahlias, 2 of which you see here. So happy fall, everybody. Headaches are back. That is not fun. All this to say, thank you, chat, but like all the tour de desk, that's basically, I think I went around everything that is writing channel related for this writing update. All this to say that overwhelm is real, burnout is real, and it's a real threat right at this point because the writing journey morphs into an editing and, formatting and marketing and publicity and all these other things that are not really a writer's what's the word? Not a cri de coeur, but like reason for being. There we go. Raison d'être. It's not my raison d'être to be like organizing these things and like scheduling posts and whatnot, but that is what I'm trying to put in place as a system for the rollout to make the launch successful. So maybe that explains the headaches. I don't know. I don't know. I was going to go into the doctor on Monday and say, why do I have a headache for 15 days in a row? Like, that's weird. But now that I've had a couple days off, I'm like, ugh, what do I say? What is it from? So the writing update is that the writing is almost about to be born. So the writing mother is very uncomfortable right now. I assume that's how it works. That is where I am. That is the update. And that's just the like writing business stuff. That's not anything about the work I'm doing for the AWC. That's not anything about the work I'm doing for my family's business. That's not anything about the work I'm doing for paid magazine work. So just to let you know, things are really busy, even though I do prioritize like trying to make this a success and staying healthy. So your takeaway from today's live stream should be prioritize your health, even if you're living in 5 different realities, and stay connected with your friends because they'll keep you from going insane. Okay, finishing up the chat and then we're done today because I'm going into someone else's hour, I'm sure. Happy fall, Leslie. Happy fall. Leslie will probably have a stream later if anyone wants to do reading sprints. Gareth, if you want to stay on task writing, go over to Leslie's channel. She does nice music. A slice of cherry pie. I think that's a super chat. I think that's how it appears. Thank you, Eva. I made pumpkin scones the other day and stuck a few in the freezer. So I have a few for when I'm like unable, and I'll accept that. In the spirit of like baked goods make everything better. Nicole says, oh, damn, don't I know that this year? Yes. I think Nicole does more books at a time than I do as well. So more overwhelmed. Forte? No, I think raison d'etre is the one I was going for. Laura says, ew at everything but writing. I know. I don't know when I'll do another writing update because probably after the launch. So today is October 13th. The launch is November 30th. I'll probably have some like aftermath stuff and maybe December. Maybe December I'll get back into writing. But, if you want to try to make this a going concern, you got to put everything you got into it. Eva says, oh no, don't burn out on us. You're such a pretty flame to watch. Thank you, Eva. You tell the doctor the symptoms. It's okay to not know why. That's the doc's job. Yeah, fair enough. The writing mother is uncomfortable. That's excellent, right? It's like final months. Gareth says, stay positive, whatever happens. You're doing it, from Eva. This was a fun chat. Happy autumn all. Thanks, Richard. Kappa says, I hope the headache shifts soon. They are the bane of my life. Yeah. Have a treatment plan, have a good doctor, and good luck, basically. We don't know where they come from. And get a nanny once the book is out. Yeah, I don't think that's covered either. You don't keep us here against our will, someone else's hour. Yeah, Nicole says, I'll be on Andy's productivity stream today. Okay, so Andy has a stream later. Yep. Andy chose all the same days and times, so that's why I had to move mine, just FYI. Same to you. Send me the pumpkin scones recipe, please. Will do. All right, we'll close out on pumpkin scones. And the this. I don't think it'll go up at the same time. Wait, did it? What's happening? Selected. Go back to the chat. Wait, where'd it go? Okay. Almost done, but I want to see what's happening with my text. This is turning into an experiment. It's not visible. Is that because the chat is there? Let's... You get to learn along with me here. So I'm going to make it a ticker. It's not just a box check, so you can't switch it back and forth, which is annoying. Okay. So you can't have a banner and a chat up at the same time. It doesn't move it out of the way like StreamYard, but you can have a ticker and a chat up at the same time. There we go. I'm going to have to write all this down, all the new stuff, but I will send Cat Paw the pumpkin scone recipe. It was pretty good. It's not too sweet. I just wouldn't form it as squares. I formed some as circles, and that worked a lot better baking wise. So there we go. Okay. All right. We're squared away. Thank you, everybody. And best of luck. Take care of yourselves. Thanks for hanging in there with me. And I will talk to you again soon. And here's an outro because now we have the capability.